Hey there, Scrappy Peeps. It's Shelly, and I am Scrappy Longstocking. Today, I'm going to put together my day in the life pages for 2025 in my Story Play album. I've got my photos printed. I've got my cards. I got little post-it notes on each page with a plan. So I'm going to go ahead and start by cutting, I think, and then putting the photos in. All right, friends, I participated with the Community Documenting Day on the 17th, and then I actually was able to put my pages together on the 18th. So it was very fresh for me, which was, I think it made it a little bit easier to do it that close in time, especially since I didn't take any notes all day long. I was just like living life, and I took quite a bit of pictures, which I think I usually take less pictures on a regular day, but in the past years, I have taken more pictures because it's day in the life. I usually want a deep dive with a bunch of pictures, but this day was less busy, and it was a work day. So I think in the years past, I've had a couple of days where, or the last couple of years, I've had days where it was weekend days, I think. And then a couple of years before that, it was work days. So there's a good mix of work days and weekend days or off days for various reasons. And I just documented these, the photos in order, and I picked 3x4 photos and 4x6 photos. I didn't really have a rhyme or a reason. I just alternated the 3-pocket 6x8 page and the 4-pocket 6x8 page so that I could have a mix of photo sizes, just to add a little bit interest, because these scrapbooking pages I decided to leave very, very simple. As a general rule, I scrapbook simply just because I enjoy the paper and photos and words more than I enjoy embellishments and interactive things and the complicated parts. Usually I don't choose complicated parts of these projects. I choose simple and quick and easy because I very much enjoy the storytelling part of it. So in the beginning of the pages, I was not sure how to set up the beginning because my ending pages from the story play chapter before was the watch and listen, and I knew it was going to end on a blank page, and I knew I wanted to print the cover page as a piece of vellum. I think the physical kit came with a piece of transparency as the entry page with a quote, a full page quote on it. I do not purchase the physical kits of the story play kits. I just purchase the digital kits and then change them up and print them out on the type of paper that I want to use. Also, the type of transparency paper or a transparency plastic that I purchased did not do well in the albums, so I decided not to use that type of plastic or paper or medium anymore. And the additional thing I added was the this story cards from the last story kit, which was colors. It's these story cards. And I also have that one in digital. So I think I printed several of those cards and they just happened to be sitting on my table next to my day in the life story cards. And I noticed that the colors coordinated very well. So I decided to use those as well. And I also went ahead and made a card number 9 and a card number 10. And I did that by using I think it's called a magic grab tool in Canva. And on the number 1 card, I just swapped them. I swapped the 0 and the 1 so that it would then be a 10. And then on the 6 card, I rotated the 6 so that it would then be a 9. And then I just recolored the cards so that they were similar colors to these story cards that I was using. So, and I did that because I looked through my photos and I decided that there were 10 things that I had noticed and taken a picture of throughout the day. And because there were 10 things, I wanted 10 cards because I had the design set up where I had the number 1, the thing I noticed, and then in between, so I would tell a story or two and of the things that I noticed, and then I would find a grouping of photos and tell a different story about the grouping of photos. It took me maybe about 45 minutes to go through and decide what I noticed and the individual stories, make a list of the individual stories, and then choose the photos. So it was a really quick process to go through. The additional thing that I did while I was doing that is I realized I would have a blank space. I would have at least one blank space, and it was at the end because at the end of the day, I didn't have enough photos to fill up a whole 4x4, a 4 pocket 6x8 page. And so what I did with that one is I took the black chipboard circle from the chipboard sheet that was digital, and I put it on top of a 3x4 square in Canva. And then I recolored the square black and resized the chipboard piece so that it was an appropriate size for the 3x4 card. So I ended up making a filler card that way. And I could have done that with all of those chipboard digital pieces, and I just decided not to. The other thing I started to do initially was take the chipboard pieces, because I think I printed them out on a 4x6 card or a 4x6 piece of paper. But what I was initially going to do was match the chipboard piece to the color of card and use it as an embellishment on the number page. I ended up at the last minute, after I had started probably about halfway through using the embellishments, I decided to change my mind because once I got further through the pages, the chipboard pieces did not match the cards anymore. And so it foiled my plan. But I did a lot of journaling because I did a lot of journaling on this because there were 10 cards, there were the story cards, and then I also used the full page piece of paper. Initially, with the prompts on it. Initially, when I was looking at the second piece of paper with the circles on it, initially I thought to do what Allie did and just punch them out or cut them out. After I was putting the pages together, I decided not to because I didn't need the circles. I didn't have stories that to tell with the prompts in the circles, like there's the AM, PM, this day, basic day, etc. So I just at the last minute, after I flipped through and looked at it and flipped through and looked at it, I just decided to leave it as a whole piece of paper. I mean, I guess I can do that without thinking, oh, what if I want to use those pieces on something else? Because I have the digital kit. I can reprint it as many times as I want. I can shrink it. I can make it bigger, etc. So the other thing I did was I put the 3x4 card for Day in the Life. I put it on the back. It's my opening sort of identifier for Day in the Life. It's a screenshot from Instagram from the Ali Edwards design that announces the Day in the Life date for Friday, October 17th. And so what I did was I screenshotted it and then I resized it on a 3x4 card. And then I ended up, to make it a 3x4 instead of a 3x3, I ended up just putting another rectangle behind it and then printing it out as a 3x4 card. The first journaling that I did was the basics 1 day in this life prompt page. It says sight, sound, taste, smells, feels. And so what I did was I thought back throughout the whole day, since it was just the next day. I thought back over something that went with those that was not pictured in the photos. So I journaled for sights, looking out over the city from the top floor of the parking deck, the bridge across from the Scott Street Bridge in the morning and the opposite in the evening. And so I didn't take photos while I was driving. I didn't take photos while I was waiting for the elevator in the morning, etc. But I look at those things every day, and I will remember until some point way, way down in the line. So I'll remember what that means when later on comes, when I read it at some future time. Sounds was cat crying in the morning and other employees chatting all day, and Bach on YouTube while I work to help me focus, and an audiobook on the way home. Taste was salad for lunch, yogurt for breakfast, Chinese appetizers for dinner, egg rolls and dumplings in parentheses, and ice cream for dessert. Smells were freshly brewed coffee, perfume, Bath and Body Works, Midnight Amber Glow in the morning, and fresh air from open windows at home. Feels, today feels like an everyday sort of day, but it's a snapshot of what life is like right now. Happy Friday. So I just thought about the prompt and just answered the questions and talked about things that were not in the photos. So for number 1, I chose, today I noticed my mornings are so peaceful. I sit with Rosie and have coffee and read my Bible. Right now, I wake up between 5 and 5:30. Today, I didn't exercise, but it's a recent addition to my life. And so the 3x4 photo is a picture of me with my Bible journal in the morning, and then a picture of Rosie, and she was looking cute, and sat still while I set up the camera and took the picture. It's not that great of a picture because I don't like the big light, the overhead light, and I don't turn on the lights a lot in the morning. So those pictures are never very good pictures, and I don't tweak them. I don't fix them in any way. It just reflects, and I will remember later on, this reflects what my mornings were like. Number 2, today I noticed right now every day is an in-office day. About a month ago, the governor ordered us all back in office between 7 a.m. and 6 p.m. My schedule is 8:30 to 4:30, but in at 8:15 and out at 5 p.m. usually. And then there's a photo of me with no identifiers, no files, no nothing, no whiteboard in the background, no computer screen, because my job is very confidential. And then there's a screenshot. Every so often, I'll put a movie on to listen to with my headphones, but not to watch while I work, just to listen to something that's not music, because the lyrics will distract me from music, but for some reason, movies that I've already watched will not. So the first story that I tell, there's 3 screenshots of the holiday movie schedules for Great American Family and for Hallmark. And the story, I took all 3 of those screenshots because something while I was eating lunch reminded me of getting those downloads, and then I went out and took the screenshots of it. And the story I told is, right now I'm in a cozy mystery movies with a touch of romance, but recently I saw a couple of regular romance movies, and my heart is not broken when I watched Signs of Improvement. Number 3 I noticed was I took a picture of my feet and the fan at my feet. And I wrote, I have this fan in my office and I frequently turn it on and then turn it off a short while later. Signs of aging, hot, cold, sigh, time marches on and it's okay. Then there's a picture of a screenshot of just the opening of, at the bottom left there, the opening of Facebook. And the story I told is, sometimes in the middle of the day, I need a brain break. I usually turn on Facebook and scroll for 5 to 10 minutes, then turn it right back off, and I won't put the app on my phone still. Number 4 I noticed is it's 85 degrees and sunny when I left work today. I'm ready for fall weather, but we don't usually get it until November here. Also out late again today. This is how life looks right now. And the screenshot or the photo is my screen at 4:58 p.m. was me leaving work and getting in the car and starting it. And then there's a fuzzy picture, I don't know why it turned out fuzzy like that, of my dashboard. So I got the temperature and then I got the mileage on my car. And then number 5 I noticed today was these 2 responded to requests for photos really quickly. Each gave me a cute face and made me so happy. They don't get along right now, and that's hard. So I got a cute picture of my cat Artemis, is the 3x4, and then a cute picture of Rosie is the 4x6. She is a little blurry because she was moving. She doesn't sit still very well. And then I used the 4x6 because I had taken it that horizontal direction, and I could see a bunch of my coffee table and my books in the background. Number 6 today, I noticed I had such headaches most of the day. It may be the sugar or it may be the air quality. In either case, I required Tylenol twice. I think it may be time for a doctor appointment. So when I got home, I needed some Tylenol sinus medicine. And so I took a picture of it in the palm of my hand. The story at the bottom was a screenshot, a 3x4 of the audiobook I'm listening to, and I wrote, this book is cute, Storyton Hall plus a bookish town, a guardian nerd mom with twin boys, such adventure. I really am enjoying the unexpected in the story. 4 stars. As I was writing that, I was kind of thinking I should write 4 out of 5 stars, because if it was 4 out of 10, it would sound really, really bad. But I decided not to, and maybe later on I will remember, and maybe I will not. Number 7 today, I noticed I am tired in all capital letters and underline. This day is hard for me. I think I'm struggling because I had so much sugar during the prior 48 hours, plus no exercise. I must do better for me. This Friday, I do recall, was an extraordinarily difficult day, and I had eaten so much sugar in the couple of days before, and I was not exercising because we had a work conference. And so that was what I was trying to get in there in my journaling to remind me for future me. The two pictures are a picture of Rosie and a picture of Artie, and they're both 3x4s. And then the third picture on that page is a screenshot or I think it might be a Pinterest photo, and I just downloaded it. It says, it's Friday, close the laptop early, make comfort food for dinner, watch a movie with twinkling lights, exhale, it's the weekend, time to hygge. So I have found many of these on Pinterest, and I downloaded it and thought it was just perfect for this particular page or this particular day, since Week in the Life was Friday. And because the journaling said I am tired. So for my number 8 journaling, today I noticed I gave myself a break this evening. Instead of doing my chores, I ran the dishwasher, stacked the dishes, and ate leftovers for dinner. Then allowed myself ice cream for dessert. So the 4x6 photo is a horizontal photo of my messy kitchen and countertop and stacks of dishes. You can't quite see the dishes in the sink, but you can see closer up, you can see a couple of the photos or a couple of the little plastic containers and stuff stacked in the sink. Usually my chores are to do the dishes, clean the cat box, and do something with laundry. So every day I try and do that so that I'm not stuck doing dishes and a smelly house and cleaning laundry all weekend long. So I try and keep up daily, but today, like in my journaling, I give myself permission to not do that. The 3x4 photo on that page is a picture of my bowl of ice cream. It's very fall flavored right now. It's caramel with peanut butter, 0 sugar peanut butter chips, 0 sugar caramel, and then it's no sugar added ice cream. And then you add a regular, what is it called? It's not a granola cracker. It's a graham cracker. That's what it's called. So the next page that next to last page is a photo of the TV show I was watching, a 3x4. I turned on Elementary with Johnny Lee Miller and Lucy Liu. It's one of my favorite iterations of Sherlock Holmes. And I like the creativity of making Watson a female. So the journaling is, the story says, I am an always underline fan of Sherlock Holmes. I've watched Elementary all the way through. I currently am recording it and ready to rewatch snippets of it. Love Sherlock. The 4x6 is a sort of blurry, dim light photo of me laying on the couch. I remembered to take it right before I went to bed. I was done watching TV and I was just super tired, but at the last second, I took a couple of horizontal photos so that I could print them, potentially 4x6 or on a grid if I needed to. All right, my story number 9. Today I noticed I got another subscriber this morning. I uploaded a video this evening and we'll do another tomorrow. I did the voiceover for both while I rested on the sofa before dinner this evening. So I took some screenshots of the old cell phone that I used to do voiceovers and editing, and then a YouTube Create screenshot, because that's the app that I use to edit, and then a screenshot of the app export, and then a screenshot of my YouTube, the side that I see of my YouTube page. Number 10 is, today I noticed I have more space in my food budget. I do not use all my budgeted calories and frequently have a deficit. I should do more exercise and be more consistent with it all. So on this particular day, I tracked my food intake and my calories in my Fitbit app. And then once I got it all in, I took a screenshot of it in my Fitbit app based on my physical activities, and the intake says that I have extra calories in my budget. And so I'm operating, according to this thing, if I'm doing my measuring and my math right, I'm operating at a deficit. And then the bottom left card is that yes card that I created. And then the story on the bottom right says, this life is a simple plus beautiful plus sometimes hard existence. I often remind myself it's okay to be in progress. I'm happy with that. I look forward to my nextness, if that's even a thing. And what it was my future, but I was so brain broken this day that I could not think of the word future. And I just wrote nextness. So whatever is next and the essence of whatever that's going to be. And that's what I'm looking forward to. And basically I was thinking about being in progress with being more healthy, getting more exercise, more physical activity, and just being in process with my house and my life. And the reality is that we're all sort of in process as we go along through life, and that's reality. And it's hard because for me, it's hard sometimes because I got to a point in my past life where things were complete, like different pieces were complete and not in process, not learning, not growing. They were just complete, and I was existing in a different sort of mindset when those things were complete. But that's just the life that I'm living now, and accepting it and working on being in progress. So the last thing I like to do, so I always start with photos, then I do words, then I do embellishments. So this is where I start to try and move things around and fix things so that it's not matchy-matchy, and then it makes sense later on when I use different color little chipboard pieces with different color cards. My goal was to try and use all of those little chipboard piece cutouts if I could. And I think I did end up using them all. The other thing that I pulled out and I started to use was these last two one random heart that was blue and one random cork star. I ended up taking that blue heart off because I wanted to use more hearts with the, or did I use more hearts? No, I used these little asterisks, whatever. I had a piece of them and I used some word phrase stickers. I had forgotten, I'm looking through my book because I had forgotten that this kit actually came with a green sheet. And so I decided, I already knew that I emptied out the 6x8 pocket with my, with all the day in the life products in it. So I knew that I wasn't having them there. So I looked back through the other parts of the Story Play album and saw that I did have them. So let's see. So this one is, it looks like I'm going to choose a word phrase sticker for the picture of Rosie. Nope, I start with the picture of me first. I found one that says same time, same place. Every morning, this is my habit. I do the same thing, and so I thought that fit. Then the picture of Rosie, I chose morning and finding the magic in this day. It really is kind of amazing to get her to sit still so that to let me take a photo without her moving. So if there's a thing that's magic, that's the thing that's magic. I choose some asterisks that match the kit. So I choose pink and some blues and greens, and I try and stay in a small color scheme so that I don't overwhelm the photos. So I did, and I also intentionally chose, I didn't want to put something on each photo because I didn't want it to be too busy. And I intentionally was still trying to use up those circles. So I didn't want a word wonky circle with word strips on the same page on the same photos. And I say that, and the first photo says 24 hours, and then it's got the word phrase strip. But I think that's the only one I did that treatment to. So on the page where I used the number 2, I chose the circle that says My Life Right Now and a little pink asterisk. On the one that says number 3, Today I Noticed, I chose the word phrase strip that says People, Places, Things, and I just put a little yellow asterisks. On the facing page where the number 4 is, I chose word phrase stickers that say real life and every little detail about today, because honestly, I have never on a day in the life or in a week in the life thought to take a picture of just the dials on my dash, but I had put myself in reverse, and you can see it in the photo. Like, I was getting ready to leave and I was like, oh, last second, I should take this photo. And it's such a tiny detail, but it gave me the weather and the mileage on my car. And I, at the same time, took the screenshot as I was getting ready to leave of the time of day. And altogether, there's 1, 2, 3, 4 tiny little details that in itself is like a mini story about those minutes. And I really, really liked it. On the 4x6, where the number 5 card is, on that 4x6 at the bottom of that page, I chose the wonky circle from the kit that says, think of the beauty still left around you and be happy. And I chose a larger pink asterisk. On the number 6, where I told the story of my headache, I chose everyday life at its finest. I felt a little bit sarcastic with that one. The headaches really, really were annoying that day and recently. And then I chose it looks like a little gray asterisk. Then I did choose for number 7. Instead of putting a word phrase sticker on the cats, I chose to put it on the one of the Pinterest 3x4 photo. And I chose taking it one day at a time. That one was also slightly sarcastic, because the journaling on this page is, I am tired, but one day at a time. Just right now, this moment, and it's fine. And then I chose a smaller yellow asterisk for that one. On the number 8, on the photo of my messy kitchen, I chose the in this season, and I chose that one because right now, in this particular season of life, right now, these last couple of months, I'm in office early, I'm home later, I'm more out of the house more, which makes more messes at home, and it makes it a little bit harder to keep up with things around the house because I'm gone more often. And so adjusting to that, because I'm a neatnik sort of person, which is why I chose 3 things. And so in my mind, once I have those 3 things done, then my house is clean. And the other smaller messes that happen don't matter as much. So on this page, the back of the prior page, I chose a sticker that says just an ordinary day and trying again tomorrow. And then it looks like the little asterisk that I chose is like a purple, like a gray purple color. On the facing page, on my screenshot collage of my phone and the YouTube Create screenshot that I put together, I chose one that says the story of this day and a pink collage. And then on the final page for this day, I chose eating and trying with a red color asterisk. And so that is essentially all I got here for you. That's all I have for you today. I super enjoyed hanging out with you today. I very much enjoyed sharing this process with you and these photos, and I very much was very happy with myself for getting it done the day after the day in the life. So thank you for hanging out with me today. I very much enjoyed hanging out with you. And go ahead and press the like button if you want to tell the algorithm that you want to see more content like this. And go ahead and press the subscribe button if you want to tell the algorithm that you want to see more of my items in particular. See you all around the internet, friends. Bye.